All right, so last night I was reading the Bible, I was reading Romans 6, and I got something out of it that I haven't gotten out of it before, so I just wanted to share that. So I was like reading Romans 6, talking about like overcoming sin, like lust and everything like that, or just sin in general. And if you're reading it, you get to the part where it talks about, well then, since God's grace has set us free from the law, does that mean we can go on sinning? And he's like, of course not. And this part right here really like spoke to me. Like I felt like God really, like the Holy Spirit really showed me something new. So it says, don't you realize that you become the slave of whatever you choose to obey? And like I've read that part before and I'm like, all right, like obviously like that makes sense. But if you like read it slowly, like don't you realize that you become the slave of whatever you choose to obey? So like let me break that down. Like what he's really saying is like you become a slave of whatever you choose to obey. Like you have a choice to follow like your sinful nature, or you have a choice to follow like, you know, what God's leading you to, like the truth and like living pure and living holy. But the cool thing is that I remember nights where I felt like I was a slave to sin. I felt like I was a slave to like lust and like just everything that my flesh wanted to do. But what is cool in this passage is saying that you can be exactly the other way. You can be bound to following God because of your choice. Like I chose to sin in those moments, and I became like bound to the sin. But when you start to choose to like fight the temptation and not give in, the more you choose to not give in, the more you choose one night not to watch porn or not to lust or not to, you know, fall into temptation, the more you're going to be bound to God, the more you're going to be bound to want to please the Spirit. So I thought that was really cool. Like you become a slave of whatever you choose to obey. Like, you have a choice at the end of the day. And God's going to, through his power, going to bind you to him instead of binding you to sin. So I thought that was really cool. That's what I got out of it. But yeah, have a blessed day and keep trusting in God.